Welcome to Feelings Not Included. It's a podcast where we keep it 100% real about 100% real shit. So today I have a guest in studio. I'll let you introduce yourself. Go ahead, give your name, your age, and any other information you want to give.
I'm Robin. I'm 31. I'm single.
Recently divorced in the
Recently
last 3 years.
divorced,
Okay.
yes. And I am currently in the dating market, kind of.
Right. Understandable. All right. So I'm going to be real. 100% of why I brought you here is I posted some shit. I sent you a video. You watched it. You sent me a message. As a black man who's married to a white woman, I am not in the dating market today. And I'm constantly told that I'm not in a dating market today, right? I'm told by various people, I don't know what it's like. So tell me from a black woman's perspective today, in regards to black women, right? Just give me your opinion because maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to be, obviously there's always exceptions, but give me your opinion on the dating market today and things black women are doing right or doing wrong.
The dating market today is downscale compared to traditional dating. We were taught, of course, all black women, we are strong, independent. We don't need anybody. We have ourselves, and then we have the my reality women, the my truth women, the anything you can do, I can do better mantra women.
Right.
And I feel like that's steering us wrong. And most men, modern men, are told that they have to accept it. They have to just deal with it and go from there. And traditional men kind of look at that like, I don't need that kind of drama or that kind of BS. Like, they don't want it.
So a part of kind of what led to this is, again, I'm gonna say multiple times, you know my wife. So obviously you know my wife. You know my wife very well. But a lot of my friends are coming to me, dudes who traditionally only dated black women, and like, dude, I'm not doing this no more. Tell me about white people. I'm like, I don't know everything about white people. I just got, I only know my wife. And they're complaining about black women not being feminine enough, not letting men play the lead role. How do you looking at relationships? Um, what do you believe is the role of a woman, and what do you believe is the role of a man?
Looking at relationships, and most women are probably gonna look at me like, no, she's whatever. My opinion, we take care of what's inside of the house, and men take care of what's outside of the house. That's how we make things mesh. I'm not one of those kind of women that's like, oh, I want a 50-50 relationship. I don't want that. Some women do, and some women are okay with that, and that's fine. It's just not for me. I don't want to work. If I can sit back, I want to sit back. I want to sit back, take care of the kids, take care of my
So let's
house.
talk about that. Let's say you don't work. You meet a man. He's like, hey, I'm gonna take care of home. You be a stay at home mom. What's in it for him, right? What are you doing for him, right? Like we talked about a few minutes ago. Like, kind of run through that. What are you doing for him? What are the things that you're willing to give up to make sure that that man, is feeling respected and appreciated for what he does, right? I mean, is he
Number
coming
one
home
thing.
to the cold plate, the last one to get fed? Are your friends coming before him? Like, talk to me. Tell me the things that men want to know.
No, the number one thing that women, that even some of my friends kind of got me confused about is when a man comes home, he's getting a reheated plate. Why? It's not. It's not what he's going to work for. If you're a stay-at-home mom, don't give him a reheated plate. Like, I understand, sides such as like mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, stuff like that. Fry that chicken fresh. Like,
You know he come home at
you know,
11.
like, yeah, he's coming home at 11. I get it. The kids are already sleeping in bed, but still make sure that his food is set aside. You can even let the chicken marinate a little bit. And then once he come in, okay. Or when he texts, baby, I'm on my way. He's coming into a hot plate. You meeting him at the door. Let me take your coat. You've been at work all day. The house is already clean. The kids is already put in bed. Feelings not included. I'm probably finna be on my knees at the door, baby. Like,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
just to
That's
make,
real shit.
just to make sure that he's happy, and that's not just sexually. Like, you can ask a man day in and day out, "How was your day?" Most men not gonna look at you and say, "Well, yeah, I had to
Like, we ain't
gut
going
us."
through that
Like, they're
shit,
not
right?
gonna go through that. They don't.
Tyrone was tripping.
Yeah,
Mark
most
was acting
they're
stupid.
not.
Ethan was acting. We don't do that shit.
Exactly. They're not like women.
Right.
Like, women is gonna go through that. Men
Mhm.
aren't. You can ask how your day was. They're gonna say fine,
That's
even
it.
if it wasn't.
It's not for you to worry about. We don't want to put that on.
Exactly. And some modern men, I'm like, well, I can confide in my bitch. That's cool. And some women can, some men do it. most traditional ways, they're not
Right.
doing that.
Typically, and I'm a traditional man, and I go around on people like I don't believe in gender roles, and that's cool if you don't.
I
We have
do.
them in my house, and I don't want anybody else to have them in their house unless they want them.
Yeah.
But when you want a traditional man, you get traditional men, right? Now you did say you're you're out of the dating market. You've got something going on. We don't do names.
Yeah.
You said something very interesting. Um, he's not the father of your children. You were married, you recently divorced.
Yep.
He's not the father of your children.
No.
But you said to me, and I want you to elaborate on it. You said to me, even though he's not the father of your children, if he says, "Hey, I want you to stay home, take care of the house while I go to work," when that man walks in, who gets the first plate?
My potential husband, if he's not my husband, my boyfriend, the guy I'm dating is going to get the first plate. Why? Because he provided the food. Two, because when he does come in town, he's risking his life every single time he comes in. Not just the drive here, but when he's sleeping there. Somebody could break in at any point in time. He's going to be the first person to get up. We go out, we go for a walk. I'm not walking street side. I'm walking inside to where he's literally right there. We go out and somebody gets to shooting, even though I'm not his particular wife or even though I'm not his wife yet or right now, he's still risking his life to make sure. And he has children of his own that he has to get back to. Like, he's making sure he's going to make sure I'm okay. So yeah, when he's here, no, he's getting the first plate.
And I think that's a huge misunderstanding with a lot of people today, especially women. I know we're particularly talking about Black women, but women of all races, that my kids come first, right? And I said on one of my episodes, I said, listen, I'm perfectly fine with the woman who says my kids come first. That's cool. You're not for me,
That's respectable. And in
right?
the same
Respect
breath,
it.
which one of y'all women with children that says my kids come first is gonna let your child get up and risk their life for the rest of the house?
None of them. If somebody
Not a
breaks in the
single
middle of
one.
the night,
They're
you're
gonna
not going
look
to
and be
send
like,
your
oh,
my kid come first kid, son, daughter, it doesn't
yeah,
matter. You're going to look at that man and expect him to go, put his life on the line so he can come last in the house. Because
literally.
typically, and this is just my opinion, I haven't been in the situation, but every time I hear my kids come first, whether it's one kid, two kids, three kids, it doesn't matter, that man's last. So first is the kids, then it's her, and then it's you. So from my perspective as a man, I'm not getting up and risking my life, right,
For that.
to come last.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
mean,
anyway,
I'm finna die first and I came last. Why?
right,
Like,
right,
there's
right,
no
right.
reason why I should have to.
Yeah, I'm
And
with you.
it took a lot of growth to get to this moment because I used to be that woman. Like, no, my kids are going to be here after you leave. And I didn't realize that I was literally setting the foundation for that man to leave because he's looking at me like, I don't have to be here. I'm here because I choose to. But if you want to tell me that I'm last, not only to you, I'm also last to your kids and then your friends and then your family, one of your aunts call, and then I'm still last. Okay, cool. I can label you as the fun girl. I'll come over here when I want to nut. It's fine. I'm cool with it. We both getting what we want. I'm last. I'm still looking for my prospective wife because I know I want to
You're
complete.
not her,
Yeah,
obviously.
you're not her, but I mean, we can have fun in the process of
Right,
me
right.
continuing my search for what I want. And I didn't realize that until after my divorce. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that
It's
I
okay to
was
grow
setting
and
that.
learn and
Yeah,
grow,
like,
right? That's not a
yeah.
bad thing. So if you were to talk to other women and say, "Hey, listen, I've got something to say," in regards to the women who are like they want to be alpha female, is that a thing, right? In your opinion, is an alpha female a thing? Is it real? Is it an act? Does it work? Does it help you get a man? Does it hurt you? Tell me about
In my opinion, alpha females do not.
it.
They
Okay.
don't. Because, yes, it is an act. They've been hurt, they've been abandoned, they've possibly been abused, they've been neglected, and they feel like, okay, until a man can love me how I love me, then you don't deserve that side of me. You're going to get this tough road where the wall is built up bricks, not straws,
Right, not
literally,
paper,
like,
the
yeah,
real brick
like
wall.
literally brick, like literal bricks right there. And if you knock them down, then I'll give you a piece of it. I won't even give you all of it. And that's an act. No woman, screw y'all feeling, can really sit back and say, yeah, I legitimately don't need a man. Because who fixing y'all bricks? Bet you it's not a woman. Who fixing y'all, like,
Right. It
Y'all
may not be
roll
your
together.
man you
Yeah,
need,
it
but you
might not
need
be your
somebody's
man, but it's
man.
gonna be a man.
Right.
Like if something breaks in the house, you going in there. Most of these women today don't even know what ACDC is, and I'm not talking about the band.
Right.
Like
Right.
they
I'm with
don't
you.
even know what it is. So you turn around, and you trying to fix the outlet inside of your house, you getting shot because you turned around and turned on a TikTok video, but they didn't tell you which cord to cut. You need a man, just like a man needs a woman.
I'll roll with you on that one. Absolutely.
Like
Right. There's different things I think that each person plays. And I'm talking about a heterosexual relationship. Obviously, there's different relationships, right? And we're not gonna do that today, but there's different relationships. But in a heterosexual relationship, each person has a part to play. I cannot, I can create a child, but I cannot carry a child. Right. And no matter how bad a man or a woman wants to do the opposite, there's no way for that to work. So we have roles. So, you know, a lot of women today, and again, I'm in an interracial relationship, as you know, and I say that a lot. And I've heard a lot of shit. Oh, you only date a white girl because they're a pushover, this, that, and the other, right? But like I said, I have a lot of black male friends that are coming to me and saying, "Man, listen, I need to know more about white women. Like I own a bunch. I don't own a bunch. I don't own any of them, right? I have one that I love. She loves me back, right? That's it. But they're coming to me, and I'm asking, and these are dudes who are like 10 years ago. They was like, man, I won't fuck with a white girl, right? I don't want to deal with it, blah blah blah. Now they're like, hey, man, talk to me. So help me understand. Give me some information, right? Because you're a black woman. I'm not. I've heard black women say white women are stealing our men, this, that, and the other. Give me your opinion, right? Are they stealing our men, or are they making it
so
easier, or are they
this
making
is
it harder?
I can actually speak from both perspectives because I used to
Okay,
think like that. I used to think, oh my God, all these white. I used to despise interracial relationships. Used to get on my nerves because I'm just like, well, where can I get a man like that's frustrating? Like, why can't I get that man, but this white woman can get him? And it used to irritate. It used to literally burn my bones because I'm just like, why are they taking all the good ones, but they're not? They're making themselves available, and the good ones are literally seeing that like, I don't have to argue with her. I mean, I'm quite sure you and your
right.
wife
We
have
fight, but
yeah,
it's
but
not
it's not she has a level of understanding to where it's like, okay, if she does wrong, you're able to correct her. If you do wrong, she's able to correct you, and there's a level of understanding there. Whereas Black women are taught we're strong, independent. We don't need anybody. If a man can't accept you as you are, then you don't need him. You can what another man won't, well, what you won't do,
another
another man
man
will.
will.
Like those are the things we're taught. These white mothers are not teaching their daughters that.
Absolutely not.
They're not. I can guarantee. I can go downstairs to Carrie right now and say, "Have you ever heard this?" She'll be like, "Yeah, I heard it, but not from my mom."
Right,
Because
and she's not right.
that's what they're taught. They're taught how to get their man, how to keep their man, how to nurture their man, how to love their man, how to support their man, not financially support, emotionally, mentally, be there physically. That's what they're taught. And we're taught that the man is supposed to be there for us doing all of these things. And then we have the audacity to say, we're the prize.
So that's an interesting thing, and I'm gonna go back to what you said about nurturing and support. I have a homie who just got married this year. Wait, I'm sorry, last year. Married a beautiful sister, and he was over here one day, and we had a little party or something. Shit ran late, and so my wife said, "Man, I'm really hungry." It was 2, 3 in the morning. She said, "Oh, I got you. What you want?" And then she asked my boy, "You want something too?" He looked at me and said, "Man, my wife would never fucking do that." And I said, "Well, I'm not comparing wives. I'm like, my wife's not doing that because I'm forcing her to do it. I take care of her.
Yes.
She wants to do it. And doing this podcast stuff has really brought me to looking at my wife and saying, okay, am I asking for too much? Right. So I asked her, even today, I asked her, I said, you do a lot of things for me, right? Why do you do them? Because I want to make sure I want you to feel forced. She's like, no, you take care of me. You appreciate what I do. So this is how I repay you. And I'm like, you don't owe me. Like, don't repay me like I loan. She said, no, that's not what I mean. But this is how I show you.
It's a give and take.
Right.
Like
It's a give
you
and take.
take care of the household. So the least I can do is make sure you're taken care of spiritually. You're fed naturally. That's the least I can do because like we already discussed and ran over, you're willing to risk your life.
So, and I think that's the part a lot of people don't understand as a man, right? And we talked about this a little bit earlier before we started the podcast. We are, we are our job. is to put our life on the line for women. So, or our family, not just a woman, our family, right? I get up every day, I go to work, and I have, all the shit I own because she likes that shit. Because we started off in Beacon Heights was our first place. She wanted more. I'm not joking. Beacon Heights, Miami Hills, and for y'all that don't know, that's not an upscale neighborhood. Um,
At all.
but we Beacon Heights, Miami Hills. We went Indian Springs. We went through the process, and everything I do for her, right? And I know, and it sounds fucked up, but this is as a man. I know if we were out in a life and death situation, let's say we're out somewhere and there's a shooter, I'm gonna cover my wife. I'm gonna take the. I don't want to get shot. I don't. The shit hurts. Is what I'm from what I hear. I don't want to die, but I'm gonna give my life so she can continue hers. In the back of my mind, I know continuing her life means another man. I know that.
Literally.
Right? If something happens to me today, I'd be foolish to think she's gonna be single for the rest of her life, or not date, or not have physical contact with a man. So for us, we're putting our life on the line, right? So we do want or expect certain shit. But again, I'm constantly told as a black man who's married to a white woman, I have no place to speak, which I think is fucked up for a lack of better terms. Because I had a black mother, I have a black daughter, but I really wanted to bring a black woman in and just I'm gonna let you cook, right? I'm gonna let you talk. I say cook. That was probably the worst shit to say to a woman. I don't mean like
You're
physically cook in the
fine.
kitchen, but I'm just gonna let you talk. You just
Let me
continue
have
to
the
tell
floor.
me what you think about the dating market today and what men are doing wrong, what women are doing wrong, and just I'm gonna let you talk because I love to talk and I'm gonna shut up and drink.
Women, I love my fellow black women. I do. I have so many friends, various of national, but the ones that I go to for relationship advice tend to be white
Why is that?
because they know how to get and retain their men. Now, there's some black women out there that that has their husband that they've been married for years on end. I get it. I understand it. But if I'm having relationship problems, I've went to Carrie plenty of times for my relationship problems. Like, what do I do with this? How do I handle this? And this has been, and she's instructing me through it. The thing that I dislike about our black community is most of these black women sees another black woman as a threat.
No doubt.
Like, if I teach her this, then she'll become a better woman for this man or my man.
Right, right,
Why?
right.
These now I hate bringing races into it, but white women are not looking at us like that. They're looking at us like she wants to become a better woman for herself to
Right.
attract the man she's desiring. They're not looking at Carrie's not looking at me like, oh my gosh, she's gonna steal my
Right.
husband.
I'm up here alone with you,
Literally,
right?
she's not
She's
looking
not
at
worried
me
about
like
that.
that. She's not at all. She literally said it very clear. I'll wait down here for you guys. And I love it like she
Absolutely.
welcomes me inside of your home. Whereas at some point in time, I can guarantee if you had a black wife, we just saw her head poke around that corner at least once or twice. I think just being honest about the
No doubt,
situation.
no doubt.
But and then when you look at other men, you see a man and these men going to other men, like you have other men coming to you for advice.
Absolutely.
Why? Because they're looking to you like you see a part of your younger self in these men that are still single. Like you can still find your wife. I found mine. You can still find her. You just got to do this. You have to do this. You got to move this way. Look for this. That ain't the one for you. Like we
Hey,
just
I will tell it. I'm gonna interrupt you for a second. We had a party here, and it's a beautiful chick. Like she's beautiful. And my guy's like, "Hey man, what's up with her?" I'm like, "Hey, she's good, but she's not wife material." I'm not gonna lie to my homie. He fell in love and he got burned and he didn't understand it, but he did understand it. He knew right from. He said, "Man, you told me, right?" But my guys come to me, and not even all of them are younger. I've got some older friends and relatives that have came to me for advice, and it's not for any other reason other than I asked my wife out on a date on May 14th of 19. I wouldn't say ask her out. Our first official date, we'll call it May 14th of 1992. She gonna say May 16th. We argue about the date.
one. I wasn't even one.
Right.
I was a few months old.
Right. So we argue about whether it's the 14th or the 16th. We damn near 50. So I don't know. I could be right and wrong at the same time. I don't remember the date, but
It was
so
9 months.
people come to me. People come to me because they're like, man, you've figured out longevity with the same woman, and our relationship is not perfect, right? I'm not gonna pretend we don't fight. We're human,
Yeah.
right? We're human, so we go through human shit, but we actually have open communication. I can sit down with my wife and say, "Hey, this is exactly what I feel like is fucking wrong with you." I won't say it that way, right? And she can sit down with me and say, "This is exactly what I feel like is fucking wrong with you," and she ain't gonna say it that way either. But we don't argue and fight about that. We say, "Okay, cool, let's learn from it,"
And
right?
that's the best learning.
So that's why men come to me. But again, this whole process and concept behind this series of episodes was that I noticed black dudes coming to me who are married, dating, or who have always exclusively dated black women and came to me like, "Hey man, listen, I need to do something different. I'm done dating black women." And I got a homie. I'm not gonna say his name. When he see this, he texted me. We text all day, but I'm talking all fucking day, back and forth. And for 2 years, the last 2 years straight, I'd be like, "Bro, you too hard on black women." I'm like, I'm fighting for. He said, "Bro, you fighting for him because you're not out here dating. Shit's different."
It is. It is. I'm with him when he's right. However, there are some black
There's a
women.
lot of good black women.
Exactly. There are like, and I'm not gonna look and spice up the numbers and say 90% of black women are good. No, there's a good 25, maybe 30%, and he just keeps running into that other 70%.
Right.
Which is why he's like, man, I give up because in the same breath, if you see a pack of lions roaming down the street, are you gonna walk up to those lions and see which one don't bite?
Man, that's so fucked up. I'm not. But I said to my
Exactly.
guy,
Like,
or excuse me, he said to me, "Bro, if there's a bunch of anything and most of them are not good for you, you're not going to go up and try to figure out which ones are. It's a risk to you." And that's what's led to these dudes going other places. And again, I argue with them a lot. So I started this podcast and I started doing research. And there's a lot of brothers who still only want to date black women. But they're like, "I have two choices. I can date a woman who they feel are not good for them or be single." Or option number three is they date outside of the race. And that's, I'm gonna be honest, I struggle a little bit with that because I'm like, bro, if you want a black woman, get a black woman. Because if you want a black woman and you're dating a white woman, I feel like you're selling. Right? Because that's not
yeah,
truly what you
that's
want.
not what you desire.
But they're like, listen, I want a family. And I was talking to one of my guys earlier and I told him, I said, man, I know a lot of good sisters, but here's the problem. They just they've been through a divorce. So they have a previously created family. And a lot of brothers who don't have kids want to create their own. And so that's an issue, right?
And it's at an all-time high now.
And it's okay if you went, in my opinion, if you went through a divorce, you were married, life happens, right? What was it 48, 49% of divorces marriages end in divorce. So it's a high probability if you say I do, you eventually say I don't. Right? It's a 50-50 chance.
They're having divorce parties.
That fucked me up. I just saw my
Like,
first one in 2023.
Like, don't get me. I've seen
I didn't know that was a thing.
Thought about it. I'm not gonna lie. I did. I thought about it. I was like, oh, I should. But when I thought about it even harder, I was like, why? Because I'm not technically like. Do not get me wrong. I'm not technically proud of the divorce. And before anybody say anything smart, I initiated the divorce. I got tired, and it's not because like for better or for worse. It was literally like, we just kind of grew apart. It is what it is. And I understand like my vision on how I wanted my life to end was not his vision on how he wanted his life to end. And I was like, maybe we should have spoke about this
Early on.
that, yeah,
But we here now.
before we said I do.
Right.
We initially did it because our youngest daughter, we were like, hey, let's go ahead and bring this in the correct way, kind of thing. So it is what it is. We don't I don't hate him. I'm hoping he doesn't hate me. Like our
That's just
daughters are
life.
good.
That's
Life
life.
happens. But when I seen that, I was like,
Yeah, I
like
caught that for the
women,
first time in
I was like,
2023.
women
That
are
was crazy.
celebrating
So
their divorces.
let's switch directions here a little bit. Social media, right?
Ooh,
We've been social media friends for a long time. I told you earlier, I don't see you post half nakeds. You ain't twerking on the internet. And you said you used to post a lot of jokey, funny shit.
yeah.
And you said, hey, over the last year and a half, I've scaled it back. Why did you change?
Because I realized I wanted more. Like, yeah, at that point in time, I was hurt. I was like, brick wall built. I'm an alpha female. I don't need a man. That was me. And I realized in order to get the man that I want, I have to be the opposite and I have to embrace the opposite. I know a lot of women are like, hell you mean? When every woman has that, oh well, when I meet the right guy. Some traditional men hate when women say that.
Right? You
But
either who you are or you're not.
yeah, like when I meet the right guy, I'll change for him. And I was like, the guy that I'm currently dating, he was like, well, how do you know when you meet the right one? And at that point, I was in my Facebook comedian stages. Like, I was posting like wild stuff
Right, right.
and stuff that I would never, ever want my daughters to see. Like, of course, no naked pictures or anything like
Right. You
that. But
never
it's
did
just,
that. I'm
yeah,
agree with
I've
you.
never, I've
I
never posted
respect
that.
that.
I won't do it because I'm a firm believer in leave the mind to wonder. Yeah, you can see a little stomach. I'll post
Yeah.
like a bikini or something like
I mean,
that.
that's
But
normal shit. You're at the beach, right?
yeah,
That's what
like
people do,
literally, I'm
right?
either at
If
a
you in
pool
a
or at the
sweater,
beach,
right?
but I'm not
It's
sitting
weird.
on the sink with my butt tooted up. I'm like, yeah, let me see how many likes I get. That's not for me.
Right, right.
But I was posting some wild stuff, and he was like, "You do realize you're not gonna get the man you're wanting to attract like that, right?" He's probably looking at your posts, and it's like, "Yeah, that's not for me." And I thought about it, and I took it as like a subliminal, like, maybe you're the guy looking at my post,
Right, right, right,
saying like, "Yeah, you're not the one
right.
for me." And from that moment, I stopped. Like, we stopped talking for like a month, where like we had our like breakup phase for like a month, and I was like, I kept getting on Facebook, wanting to type something funny or like vulgar towards like
Right.
myself, pretty much like the Facebook comedian I was. And every time I went to hit post, I was like, I just kept hitting discard post, discard post, because that's not what I want to do. Eventually, I settled into the desire of, yes, I want to inspire other young women. I want to inspire other women that's not married. I want to inspire the women that are divorced, that are trying to come back and refine themselves. Because once you get lost in marriage, you are like, you literally look forward to that person. Like, you wouldn't know what to do without. Like, where to even start.
Right,
Like,
right.
when my divorce finalized, of course I had my mind made up, like, yeah, no, I don't want this anymore. Like, for other reasons. But it was literally like,
I mean, it's
okay,
life, right? Right,
yeah,
right.
like I settled into it and was like, yeah, I can do this for just me and my kids. And I went on about life. Now that he's entered my life, like I had a friend ask me, how do you know when you're in love? And I was like, well, love is a feeling and feelings change. I knew that I found the person I didn't wanna live without when I realized how much she challenged me. Like, he challenged me to be a better me, not just for me or for
Right.
my kids. Like, he literally challenged me to be a better me, not a Facebook comedian. I walk with my head upright. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be out in the streets fighting and cussing out people in the middle of parking lots like how I was in my early 20s.
Right, right,
I'm
right.
not gonna display myself like that. When a guy meets me, he's, "Hi, what is your name?" Or if he say, "Yo, what's up, shorty?" I'm not gonna
Right.
respond to
You're right,
that.
because
Like,
you know who you are.
yeah, like I know who I am. First off, yes, I'm short and it makes me mad. So I'm not gonna sit here and respond. If I show you my inbox right now, you would
I
be
know it's
livid.
stupid. I know it is. You know what? And so that's I think for some women, as a matter of fact, I saw a chick today to post it. She said, if you like me, say something because my inbox looks like a Section 8 waiting list. And I thought to myself, there's a bunch of broke motherfuckers in there. But that's it's different from a social media standpoint because most of the people on social media, I'm gonna be honest, from a male point of view, I got a lot of male friends that are single. They're not looking at social media for the chick with her ass out trying to make her a wife. They're trying to make her a one night,
Literally.
right? And if it takes them 6 weeks, it takes them six
And
weeks.
women have to understand all of us are looked at one of two ways. Either we are looked at as a wife or we are looked at as a one night. It's not both. It's
It's
not,
never both,
it's never
right? And
ever
that's
gonna
not a
be
knock
both.
on y'all. It
Like,
has
it's
nothing to
not,
do with y'all.
exactly, it's
It's
not a,
us.
yeah, but in the same breath, it is still a knock on us because how are you presenting yourself?
I'm gonna say something fucked up. I love my wife to death. There was a time I was like, man, why is nobody sending her dick pics in her inbox? I was kind of shitty. Like, what's wrong with my girl? Right? I'm hearing all these women talk about all these dudes randomly sending dick pics, and my girl ain't getting none. I'm shitty. Did I get the wrong woman? Nobody want her. But then I sat back and thought about it. I said, she's not putting herself out there
Not at all.
in dick picville.
Like literally, back when I was the Facebook comedian, millions of them. I got disgusted. I even got them inside of my message request. I was going through some of those the other day because one of my like older friends, I don't talk to her that much. And I love you though. I don't talk to her that much. So me and her aren't friends. So I like, deleted our messages, things like that. So when she tried to inbox me and went to my message request, she's like, check your message request. Da, da, da. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go in there. And when as I'm scrolling, I'm like, oh, ew. And they're like, like back then it was like, dude, I have so many. As of this past year and a half, I think I've gotten a total of maybe.
Right. So
like maybe.
And it took me to realize
And it
it's
was
the way, and I'm not, listen, no matter how you carry yourself as a woman, you do not deserve a dick pic. But if I put on a police officer uniform and I walk the streets, I can't be mad if somebody stopped me asking for help. Right? Because I look like this. I'm behaving like this. I'm carrying myself this way. But I realized dudes who are sending those pictures are looking at a girl's history on Facebook or a woman's history on Facebook or the things she posts. I'm like, well, I feel comfortable enough to send her that. You said something earlier. Damn, I was going somewhere with that one, but with that one was good. So where the fuck was I going? I don't even remember where I was going with that one. But anyway, so you don't believe in alpha females.
No.
It's an act.
Yes.
You believe in gender roles.
Definitely.
You believe a man comes first in a relationship. Why do you believe that, man? I know we talked a little bit earlier.
Well, technically, it's God first. Then
Okay, right. Well, we talking in the house, right? You're right.
In the house,
okay, I'll give you that.
Man.
So, what do you say to your friends who like a man doesn't come first, right? If somebody says you, because I know when you posted, well, I can't remember what it was you posted, but you called some shit because they were like your kids should come first. But what do you say to somebody who's like, why does that man come first to you?
Well, one, because like I said, I'm dating him, and if we go out, well, not if, when we go out, he's risking his life every single time he comes down. Every single time I go there, he's risking his life for me. And we're not exclusive. We're not married. We're not there yet. I'm gonna say yet because that's where I desire to be.
When y'all walk, where is he at? Like if y'all on the street, where is he at?
Oh, he's by the street.
He's street
I'm
side.
on the yes. He's
Are you
street
used
side.
to that?
Not technically. I'm not. Every now and then I caught like a couple of them, but they wouldn't do it every single time. Like he doesn't. Like he would literally maneuver my steps to get me like
On the inside,
yeah,
the safe side.
Like what the hell are you doing? And when I walk up to a door, I better not touch a door.
You know,
I better not touch
funny
a door
because that's how I feel. I joke and I tell my wife all the time, if something happened to me, you wouldn't even know how to open the door. She does, right? Yeah. But she never has to touch it. So that's funny because that's how it is.
We took a trip out of town, and it was me, one of another young lady, and it was him. This man is so traditional. It was an 8-hour ride. He sat in the back seat the whole way. I didn't even know the girl. Like the first time that we took the ride,
so 2 dudes in the back, ladies in the front.
No, it was one dude in the back, my guy in the back, and it was 2 ladies. As soon as he seen her come out the house, he looked, seen it was a woman, got out, got in the back. And she's like, "Oh no, you can sit in the front seat." I'm like, "No, you're okay. Sit up there." And at first, it didn't register to me because I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, I know this girl, like, just a random girl, just pay me gas to take her down here. He wasn't having it. I'm not going to sit in the front seat and there's 2 ladies here. So then we get down there. We're enjoying ourselves. We had a cabin trip, and as we're leaving the cabin, we ended up going to like a Titanic museum, and a different young lady rode with me. Well, at first, when we first got out to the trip, because we didn't know that another young woman was going to be riding with us, he was sitting in the front seat. As soon as she walked up to the driver's side and she's like, "Hey, can I catch a ride with you?" Whatever was going on with her car, I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." I unlocked the door, he gets out. I didn't ask him nothing. He literally got out, just sat in the back seat. And she went to sit in the back and he like, "No, you sit up front." And she sat down and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, at this point I had caught on, I was like, "He's traditional. Don't even ask him." Like just girl,
if he ain't driving, he making
like,
sure y'all
up. Like he's making sure we're in the front. Girl, just leave it alone. Because if you ask him to get in the front seat, one, he don't like to repeat himself. He says it once and he means it. ask him 7 months, 10 years, 20 years from today.
Same
If
response.
he said it that time, he
Still.
meant it that time, and it's going to be the same. Sit in the front. We get there, and then she gets out. When she gets out, gets in the front. And I just kind of looked at her. But it made me just, it just made my heart throb for him.
Traditional women, a lot of women say they want a traditional man.
And they don't know what.
They don't either one, you don't know what a traditional man is, or two, you're not ready for a traditional man. A traditional man comes with traditional responsibilities. You can't be a woman who says, I want a traditional man, but I want to run the house. Right? I want a traditional man, but I'm independent. I don't need you. Because that's not how traditional works.
Traditional, you need. And do not get me wrong, I still got a lot of learning to do because my mouth, woo. I got, rest her soul, but I have my mother's mouth. And that's the one thing I'm like, oh my God. And then I have my mother's smart mouth with my father's sarcastic. And it's like a really bad combination for a traditional man. Because he's looking at me, you will not argue.
There's no point in arguing.
He'll literally sit there, he'll shut up. Like, no regard. Like, I heard you go off for 3 hours straight. There's nothing that we
don't argue about.
Like, there's nothing. You standing firm on your belief. I'm not going to try to change what you have going on.
That's where you at.
Exactly, and that's how he is.
And if you're not for me, you're not for me.
And that's how that's literally how he thinks now. Like, I was talking to my friends. I'm like, God, I don't know what to do. Like, I was sad. I'm like crying. I'm like, I just wanted to come home. I wanted to talk to me. And they're like, girl, you can do better without him. My black friends, you can do better without him.
I didn't say that shit. I'm just laughing.
I said it. You can do good without him. If he don't understand you, he ain't for you.
So let me stop you. Let's go back to my reality, because we talked earlier, right? So you watched my earlier podcast.
Yes.
And I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to lie, right? I don't want to lie, so I'm gonna look it up. You said something along the lines of they've taken my reality and applied it inappropriately instead of living actual reality. They're kind of making their own, right? So talk to me about that because I want to understand that, right?
Women are not held accountable like for their actions. We're not. We don't have to be. We got the pretty approach to where if we do something fucked up, like such as the women that's posting themselves half naked, no one's looking at them and saying, you know that's not
right. That's not white men.
Like like you gonna
attract a lot of men, but not the
called,
man you want.
This is called like feelings not involved, right?
Right, feelings not involved. Give a fuck. No,
cool beans. That's hoe activity. That's what that is.
Whole shit.
That's exactly. It's whole shit. No one's telling them that. Girl, you look good in that bathing suit. You flaunt it. You look sexy. You said, girl, you getting thick. Look at all that ass. But they like no one's looking at them and saying, you know, you ain't gonna never get married like that, right?
Right. So as a man, I and I don't want you call it whatever you want. If everybody knows what my woman looks like naked, I'm not cool with it. Right? Not because if she had an ex-dude and she sent him some pictures and they were together for whatever, that's like. But if Joe Schmo who logged into Facebook today and had her as a friend magically knows what her cheeks look like because he putting them out there, that's not cool. Oh. And I don't think I think women don't, and it's big in our community. Don't discourage, and like you said, hold women account. And my boy gonna look at this, and he was like, "Bro, I swear to God, I told you. I swear I could pull up 1,000 messages where he was like, man, black women are not held accountable for their actions." And I'm like, "Stop being an asshole, bro."
We're not. So,
but I started digging and doing research, and I'm like,
even me, even though I don't post pictures like that, not held accountable for my actions. I can cuss you out right here, right now, and Carrie would be like, "Well, what did you do to her?" Like,
that's what we're taught. Do. Right.
We are taught to, like, of course, like Carrie would be looking at me like, "Girl, you got to get out." Like, no, you're not going to disrespect my husband. But then once I leave, she'll probably look at you like, "Kai, what did you do?"
Right, because her? Women, like,
because
God damn, I hate to be him. I love him. He right.
Literally, like what did you do? But like, she'll still talk to you because she's like trying to figure out who to hold accountable for me flipping out like that. And then, of course, I'll text Carrie in the morning. Hey, I don't know what happened last night, but this is what offended me. Kai said this, da 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 da. And then she'll look at you like, well, Kai, you said this and it upset her. she'll probably tell me like, you can't come over.
Yeah,
Because of
absolutely.
course she's gonna stand
Right,
behind her
right.
husband, but you're gonna hear it in silence.
Right. We argue in private.
Yeah, like you're gonna hear
Right.
it literally in private versus me out here in the world. Like Kai disrespected us as black women, da da da. And then
To be a whole lot of support on your behalf.
it'd be so much support on my behalf, but then no one would look at me and be like, "Well, Robin, what did you do? Like, what did you say? Like, why is Carrie like tripping and saying that you can't come over?" No one will say that at all.
Again, my boy, I've been going back. I'm like, man, it's not accountability. Because he's like, he said again, this is not me.
Same breath, we can't hold ourselves accountable. That's what society is for.
Damn, he gonna love this one.
Like literally, if I'm out here shaking my ass at every single solitary bar, I can guarantee you I can call 5 girls right now and say, "Hey, let's go to Brothers." I can shake my ass all through Brothers. None of my friends is gonna look at me and be like, "That's whole shit. You need to sit down." All my friends gonna be sitting in the background talking about, "Hey, hey."
And that's fucked up. It is.
It is.
Because we should be trying to better one another.
But then I'm gonna post tomorrow, why can't I find a husband? That's reason number 1.
I'm gonna speak to, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this, but I'm gonna speak to how we, it depends on who the black man is, hold each other accountable. This one of my buddies got married, 12, 13, 14. He was getting married. The day before, we all went out kicking it. I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I was too friendly with a female. We sitting down at the bar. He kicked the dog shit out of my foot. Right to straight. I was shit faced. I don't remember. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. But he kicked the shit out of me. And I looked at him. He looked at me, and I'm back where I need to be. I was wrong. I ain't touched nobody. No, I was just too friendly verbally, and my boy reminded me.
You got some home. That's a lot to lose.
Right. And so that's how we are.
See, us as women, we do this.
Right, turn your head, girl. You was at my house all night.
I can call my best friend in front of my man. Girl, wasn't I with you last night? She gonna have a whole story panned out. Girl, yes, we ended up drinking way too much wine. You was shit faced. You went to sleep on the couch, knowing that I went to this other man's house.
And
that's bad because I know what I have to lose. Like he's a lot to lose. I know that. I feel it. So even like out in public and another man tries to holler at me, like it's kind of bad because it's gotten so bad. Like when we broke up that final time, I tried my best to like go back out into the dating world. And I hope my best friend watches this because she'll even be able to tell you. I had one conversation, just one 45-minute conversation with one guy. And I was like, I literally named him. I was like, girl, this is the rebound. Like, period. This is going to be the rebound. It's not going to be serious, but at least it'll get me over, what I had.
Right.
And I mean, and that's another thing that's really bad to teach your kids and what we were all taught.
That's what I was going to say to you.
Something new to get over something old.
I was going to say to you, you said something to me earlier. You said, I'm not going to teach my kids this. Let's talk about that, right? Because you said a lot of people say, you don't need a man, you don't need this. Talk to me.
I'm not going to teach my daughters. I'm going to teach my sons that you're a strong, independent young man, young black man. But I'm not going to teach my daughters, you're a strong, independent black woman. You can, whatever a man can do, you can do. I'm not teaching my daughters that.
Why not?
Because you need a man. You need a man. Even I'm a bartender. Yes, I still work. I'm a bartender full time. If I have something heavy or if I need a keg changed, you can ask all of my friends. I would not change it. I'll find the quickest man, period. Because it's not a woman's job. I'm very firm in my gender roles. Just like at a gas station. If I'm running low on gas, I can call my best friend right now. She'll tell you, Robert would not pump her own gas. I sure won't. You want to know why? Because I never had to. I shouldn't have to. In all reality, I was looking into moving to New Jersey because they still got the people.
They got the full service gas station.
I promise you, I was looking into moving to New Jersey just for that service because I don't want to do it. I feel like
something you're not used to.
Exactly. And I'm not saying like it's beneath me. If I physically have to, okay, cool. But there's people begging for change at the gas stations all day. I'll throw a person here. You want to pump this? I will pay $45 to pump $40 worth of gas in my car. Here you go. So I don't have to pump it. I shouldn't have to. I have 2 older sons.
Absolutely.
Take that trash out.
But I'm with you, right?
Bet you I
I'm
won't do
fully
it.
capable of cooking a meal, but my wife cooks and serves me damn near every day 3 meals a day.
Just like when I came in and you was trying to open up my wine, I said, let a woman do what
I
a
don't even know how
woman
to do it.
do.
I tried that shit. I was
Yeah,
like, you gotta do
leave it
that shit.
alone. Let a
It's not some
woman
shit.
do what a woman does.
Right? I don't fuck it. She do it.
I am very, and most women are like, oh, well, that's slave mentality. That's not slave
No, it's
mentality.
not.
Guess what it is? Wife mentality.
And I think that is a major problem we have today. I think, and I think we are as Black folks. Obviously, we've got a history of slavery and segregation, all this other shit. But a lot of people today think of minor shit as slave behavior. A man, you doing something for a man is not you being forced to do something for a man. It's an exchange.
Exactly. I want to. Like, he doesn't want to die for me. He doesn't want to.
Right.
But if push comes to shove, he will. So just for that simple fact that you will, the least I can do is cook you breakfast. I might not cook you lunch, but I'll make you a sandwich.
Shit happens, right? It ain't
I'll
always
buy
gonna
you
be there.
but I definitely make sure that you have a full course meal for dinner.
So I'm glad you said that because that's something that I said earlier, right? When it comes to actual amount of responsibilities or work done in a relationship, I would say I said 70-30 earlier. It's probably 80-20, right? My wife probably does 80% of the shit.
I think you're downplaying
It
men.
might be more.
I think you're downplaying men though, because
I'm
it
not.
upsets. I think so a little
How?
bit because when the grass needs to be cut,
We
who
do
does
that.
it? We or you?
Well, I'm saying we as men.
Oh, okay.
We do it outside
Exactly.
shit.
All the outside shit.
All the outside. But here's what I noticed.
There's a lot of outside
is.
shit that needs to get
It
done.
is a lot of outside shit. But like I said, we've been, me and my wife been together over 30 years. When our kids moved out, I really realized how much shit she did. Because we both
It
work,
is a lot.
right? We both work from home. I have an office and all that other shit, but still work from home. I'm like, holy shit. She do a lot of shit all day. Like, one day I was like, I'm gonna help you out. So sometimes I wake up and I'll clean the kitchen and living room. It ain't to her liking, but it's the best of my abilities.
And she gonna go back behind you.
She gonna go back behind me and do it better. But
exactly.
I realized I'm like, man, there's a lot of shit that she does every single fucking day. I cut the grass once, twice a week, maybe. Right? I take the trash out once a week. That's when it goes.
But
if I have to fix some shit,
have kids in the house.
I don't have kids in the house anymore, right? But but I realized women do a lot of shit. And this is the huge but. The reason I don't trip and the reason I say it's okay that it's 80-20 or 70-30 is because I don't expect her to die for me. And if some shit go wrong, my wife, if we're somewhere and somebody starts shooting, I'm gonna cover her body. I don't want to get shot. I don't want to die. And if I fucking get killed, she gonna date somebody else. I know that in the back of my head, right? I'm throwing my life away so she can be happy with another man down the road.
But the crazy part is, and I've been wanting to tell you this, every man will never amount up.
And I understand that.
And that's
but if I ain't here, it don't matter.
But right? That's the bad part. Like, yeah, you're not gonna be here. But even with the guy I'm dating, like I said, with the 45-minute conversation, he was being held to a standard that he just simply could not meet. So I knew for a fact I can't even like blur that out to continue this past a phone conversation. We didn't meet each other face to face. One thing I tell everybody, I hate online dating. I won't do it. I've tried it. I did it once with the guy I met. I got lucky with this one. But outside of that, you're not going to catch me at no bar. A guy looks at me and asks me for my number and I give it to him. No. Ladies, if you want to date, you have to go where you're going to want to be. Like I know for a fact I love camping. I'm going to go camping. And if a guy approaches me there, yes.
We got some similarities.
Yes. That right there is where I want to be. Do not take a man from a bar.
Because that's where he likes to be.
Take him serious. Because in a relationship where you started that relationship is pretty much how that relationship is going to end. If I meet him camping, we know for a fact it's going to end on a positive note. If I meet you at a bar and I turn around and I get to that phase where I'm like, I just want to sit in the house and make drinks at home.
Not gonna work.
He's going to look at you and be like, well, I met you at a bar anyway. So
that's what we like to do. Right.
And then that right there is going to be like, you'll have to shut up because true. That is very true. Most women won't shut up, but you're going to have to because that's where you met him at. Absolutely. You knew it was going to be a problem from the moment y'all met. And it didn't work out. Well, look where you met him.
It's I greatly appreciate your input, right? Because I've had a few comments on a few of my posts like, you don't deserve to talk about this because you're not married to a black woman. So I really wanted to bring you in.
And that's the bad
It's
part.
okay.
That gets on my nerves because I see some of those comments and I be wanting to angry react them because I'm just like, that's the stupidest thing. And
It's a defense mechanism, and
like
I'm
I
okay
said,
with
I
that.
was one of those people that was like, oh my God, she took one of our black men. But then I started getting intrigued more and more. Like, what did she do to get one of our black? Like, what is she doing? And the more I got to know Carrie and get to really come over and spend time with her, talk to her outside of Facebook
Right.
I was like, this woman is a doll. Like this
I
woman,
appreciate, I
she
love her, so
knew,
I'm gonna smile and be happy. But
she got the assignment and she understood it, and she's still understanding it. Most of these women, you get good black men. When was the last time one of your black friends told y'all was messing up?
it don't happen
I
frequently.
can't tell you now relationship
So
I've been in where even the relationship I'm in now, where one of my friends looked at me and was like, "You fucked that up. You need to go get him." Where my closest friend, she's a white girl, engaged, and she was like, she met the guy I'm dating, and I told her what happened, and she was like, "You fucked up.
go fix that shit.
Go get him." Like if that's where you want to be, I see your happiness when you're with him. You fucked that up. Go fix that shit.
We have some pride issue as black folk, right? We have some serious pride issue, and
Man.
I am the dude. I'll be like, bro, listen, if you love her, go fucking fix it. I'm gonna tell the truth, and if I think you wasting your fucking time, I'm gonna tell you that too. But anyway, I like I don't know. It's the shit is crazy. My whole. I'm gonna be 100% honest, and I say this to everybody. When I started this podcast, or the whole concept of going down this podcasting role, it was really to point out the problems with black men today, because I feel like a lot of black men are weak. But as I dug into this and I started listening to my friends, I'm like, damn.
The problem is not black men.
Ooh, they gonna love you and hate you for that one. That line right
That's the
there.
reason why I said there's gonna be a bunch of black women and black men that look at me like it's gonna be a bunch of black men like she's speaking truth. There's gonna be a bunch of black women like, this bitch, she on a high horse. She wanna be a slave. No, it's not that I want to be a slave, it's that I want to be a wife. I don't I enjoy girls trips. I get it. I heard it on your podcast earlier. Like if a man can't send his woman on a girl trip, crazy. Because if you think she's gonna cheat on a girl trip and she's not gonna cheat while she's 5 minutes away from you, 5 steps away from you, you crazy. But that's the thing with me. I like girl trips, I do, but I'm more into vacation. Let me
Right.
and my fiance or my boyfriend or my husband take a vacation. I want to relax with him. I'm happy. Like I was just telling my friend earlier when she was like, "You don't ever want to go out. You don't ever want to do nothing." Da da da. And I'm like, she's like, You never go anywhere. You never do anything." And I'm like, I'm happy. I'm
Right.
in a
You
relationship.
know what?
I don't want to do those things. Let's not confuse things. I'm happy exactly where I'm at. Yes, I want to. I mean, I don't typically want to go to work. I have to go to work
That's life.
because it's life. And like I said, a requirement for me is not that my boyfriend or fiance takes care of my kids. Your requirement for me is to make sure my kids see a happy and healthy relationship. Your requirement for me is to make sure that my kids see me happy. If you step up and you say, "Hey, let me show your son how to be a man," that I'll be appreciative for it, but it's not your job because I made the improper decision by laying with the wrong man in the first place. If I would have known at 19, I do not regret none of my kids. I love all of my
That's life. We
children.
make mistakes in life sometimes.
But
It
if I
is.
would have known at 19 that I was going to be a single mother of two boys by the time I turned 23, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have. I would have waited.
That's a life choice, right? We know.
Yeah, I was just telling my other best friend, like, dude, if I could have waited, because she has no kids. I love her. And she has 0 kids. I'm like, dude, if I would have just waited, I would have waited until right now to start thinking of having kids. And she's like,
And
well,
there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah. And she's like, well, Robin, you're doing good. Like, your kids are in middle school. Like, they are going to school now. Like, they're about to get ready and be out of school. Like, you got the house to yourself. I'm like, yeah, true. But in the same breath, like, I went through a lot of struggles and financial
To
hardships
get
with
where
my
you at
kids
right now.
to be where I am right now. Like, no, I'm not on Section 8. No, I don't get food stamps. No, I don't get like I don't get
Right.
none
You
of
doing
those
what you're
things.
supposed to
I
do.
do what I'm supposed to do and I have
But
to.
it wasn't easy.
Definitely wasn't. When I could have been all of my 20s easy living. And then right now, as I found the guy that I feel like, because, a woman can lose her life giving birth to a child.
Absolutely.
I feel like
Damn,
right
that's
now,
serious though. You know what? I didn't think about it like that. Fucking with the wrong man and giving the kids, you put your life on the
like
line
we
to
literally put our life on the line
have a
to be
baby.
a single parent. Like, come on, man. Like we take this having kids thing way too lightly. Oh, because they
Damn,
got
and it affects black
epidural.
women the mortality rate for black women. Yeah, absolutely,
Literally,
totally different
because we
than
got
white women and
epidural and
everybody
all
else.
of
Right?
those things that are numb the pain and all of that. I had two of my kids natural. Two of them. My youngest daughter and my first son. The only reason why I had my first son natural because I didn't know I was in labor. He was my first kid.
That's all right, right? You learn the hard
But
way.
my youngest daughter, I was like, dude, give something. But if I would have known like I was gonna be a single parent, I wouldn't have done it. I would have waited until just now to risk my life to have my child raised in a two-parent household.
You know, I want to go back to something because you talked about the girls' trips. One of our good friends, she's getting married soon, and she had reached out to Carrie. It's like, hey, we're having a bachelorette party in Nashville. My wife said, babe, are you going to Nashville? I said, what the fuck are we going to Nashville for? She's like, she had a bachelorette party. You don't got to go to the party, but I want you in town with me. And I was like, damn, right? I'm like, you gotta go because she's a great friend. She's like, I don't want to go without you. So now I gotta go to Nashville on a trip I don't want to
I
go to.
seen
You
that trip
know what I'm
actually.
saying? So I'm like, God damn, but to realize that even though it's a girl trip, I'm not worried about my wife. I'm not worried about doing anything wrong. She makes excellent decisions. But she still says, hey, if I'm gonna do this, I still want you there. Because when I get home at night, to back to the hotel, whatever it is, I want you there. And that's real shit. So I like the girl trip thing. Because I used to argue with one
Like
of my
literally.
boys, and I swear to God, he hit me every day. Every day he's like, oh man, I see you coming around. I'm not coming around. But I used to argue with my guys. She's like, man, if a woman is a wife or want to be a wife, all these girl trips ain't for her.
Like, don't
Or
get me
she
wrong.
says, well, I want to be with my friends to celebrate this major event, but I want you there too. You know what I'm
Like, don't
saying?
get me wrong. Like, I have a trip coming up with my best friend. Me, her. I was gonna go with like a few other girls, but my best friend is the one that's like buckled down, and she was like, "Yeah, let's go." Because I said I do not for my birthday this year. I do not want to wake up in the United States. I
Ain't
don't.
nothing wrong with that.
Like, I don't want to. Like, we've been planning this trip for the past 2 years with like all of the wrong friends, all the wrong people. And they're like, well, let's wait till next year. Let's wait till next year. And then this year finally gets here and they're like, well, let's wait till next year. And I'm like, yeah, y'all not the people for me. Because I made it very clear what I didn't want to do. Just like when I said, hey, I want to go skydiving for my 29th birthday. I want to leave my 20s with a bang. I went skydiving. This year, I do not want to wake up in the United States for my 32nd. I mean that. And she's like, well, yeah, we can do that. We can go from this date to this date. And I'm like, cool. I text him. I'm like, you got your passport? He's like, why? I'm like, because I want to be in Jamaica. I want to wake up in Jamaica for my birthday. Granted, it was supposed to be like for me and my best friend, but I can't imagine not like him not being there. And
Right,
it's
right.
not just because like, oh well yeah, I want it to be a vacation. I want to just come on to no, because I know for a fact the trip would be more fun if
Hmm.
you're there versus me texting you and saying, "Hey, I'm
Right,
thinking of you."
right.
No, like once you get to that place where you like are you alpha females, once you get to that place where you see a setting and that setting wouldn't be as good without your person there, that's how you know you found a person that you want to live the rest of your life with. Not that you're in love or that you love somebody. No, someone that betters you for you, someone that challenges you to make the better decisions. Someone that makes you understand like I said, without him, I was like, okay, so now what? Like all of my friends, you can do better without him and da da da. But where? Because now I'm like, I got this mentality in my head. And if I'm looking at you watching TikToks all day, It's not a turn on for me. If
Right,
I'm
right.
looking at you sitting back, I mean, yeah, granted, you go to work and then you come home, but then you blowing your check on weed and drink and going to like strip clubs. Ain't nothing wrong with strip clubs. Y'all men, do y'all shit. There's nothing wrong with it. But if I'm watching you blow your money like that,
Right.
I don't want it. Like men, I don't know
Say it with no feelings not included. We don't give a fuck.
if men are good with numbers. Women suck at it. Like I could probably look at you with a math problem I could never solve, and you'll be able to solve it like that. Women are good at paying bills, and then after that, we want to shop. Well,
Oh, absolutely.
here's the next. Oh my God, this pair of shoes is about to get released. Oh my cheap, that
I have to
purse.
remind my wife.
It would look
It's a
so
50%
good
off
on
sale.
you.
Yeah, but you weren't looking for that shit. You don't need
You're
it.
looking at the longevity of it.
Right.
Like, okay, cool. It's $300 right now. That's a good buy. It'll look good on you, but we got a water bill due.
Right.
So
Right.
which one is more important? Which one is more important? What's on your arm or what we showering in? Because
Absolutely.
if we can
Right.
shower with that purse,
Fuck
get it, baby.
Right, right,
But
right.
we're so impulsive. Men are like, cool. When traditional men, what makes it so, and I love this. Like I've watched traditional marriages. My great grandmother was married to my great granddad. I love it, and that's the marriage I look up to. Other than you and Carrie,
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good.
like my granddad used to go. My grandmama beast with numbers. Loved her. Because one thing that he used to do, he'll come in, bring his whole check to her, and she would give him an allowance out of his paycheck.
A lot of people look at that shit weird.
Yeah, a lot of people look at it weird,
But
but
that's how you kept the house right.
yeah. See, I'm not that kind of wife. I know I'm not. So if I do go to work, like literally, he's good with numbers. That's his job. Is
You gotta know your
yeah,
strengths and your
like
weaknesses.
I know I'm not good with money. I would literally look at that man and be like, "Here, baby, what can I spend?" And he'll look at me. He like, "Spend what you want to spend." No, cause see, this is the bill that's due, and like I say, he has no obligation to my house. That's my house.
Right, right.
This is what's due. This is what's due. This is what's due. He looks at it. Okay, you can spend this. Put this towards this. He'll literally like separate the money, put it on top of each bill. Here you go. And I get so mad because I'm like, dude, what the $20 gonna do? Like,
But that's where you at.
but that's where I'm at. And he like, if you want more, work some more. You know, like, and if I need help, if do not get it twisted. If I need help,
He's
he'll
there.
definitely like he'll help me. But we have that understanding to where it's my house. Until we make that decision to be exclusive and he's like, hey, I'm here with you, then
That's your
I already,
responsibility.
yeah, like I already told him, like,
So
I'm not looking for that. But if you apply it, I'm gonna be appreciative for it. But right now, as it stands, we have not had that conversation. I have not tapped him on his shoulder and said, hey, I want something more. He has not tapped me on my shoulder and said, hey, I'm gonna move my stuff in. Like, we have not made it there yet.
right, right.
And I made it very clear to him in the beginning. I suck with money. He knew that off top.
So you know what he's getting.
Yeah, like he already knew. So he was like, okay, cool. So what is it that you can bring to the table? And most women are like, oh, that's a sassy question. No, it's not. Men need to know what they're getting themselves involved with too, especially if she already has a family created, such as I. I have a family created already. Granted, neither one of them are there, but I already have a
Understandable.
family.
Right, right.
So he's like, well, what is it that you can bring to the table? I can bring you a cooked meal. I can provide peace. I'm still working on listening. I'm trying my best. But you'll see 1% a day at a time. Women do not overstress yourself. And that's one thing that men want to see results. Because with
We're
men,
instant. That's who we are.
like y'all are instant. But women, we are not because look at the support systems we got.
Right.
Like, we don't, like, I can call my aunt right now. You don't need a man. A man for what? She's my great aunt and she's not married. I'm not going to take advice from
So
you.
I was gonna say that, right? Every woman I have ever met, regardless of race, you don't need a man, is single. Every single one of them. And I don't know, it could be coincidence. Highly doubt it. But
Coincidence.
that's the situation. And again, I'm not telling any woman she needs a man to live her life.
I do.
I like that. I'm not saying it. You can say it.
I do.
I'm not saying this. All
And
I'm
half
saying.
of y'all do too. Whoever finna be watching
But
this.
I know.
No, I don't. Yes, you do.
I know that we function better together. Right. There's a whole lot of shit I don't know how to do. I'm a pretty intelligent guy. right? I'm a pretty intelligent guy,
Let me
but
ask you something real quick.
yeah,
Can you bake like Carrie?
I can bake. I can't bake like her. She bake.
Can you bake like Carrie?
Hell no.
Shut up.
I can't. Because you know what she'll do? Like, listen, if I want my wife to make something, I'm going to get in trouble for this. I'd be like, babe, old girl got these little cakes or whatever for sale. I'm going to go get one. No, I got you.
I can bet money she gonna make
She
it
gonna
better
make
than
it
no girl
better,
down the street.
and she gonna make it. So, but there's, I mean, it's a little shit, right? It's certain shit she does that I don't do. Like she handles or handled, the doctor's appointments for the kids because I'm working. I'm out of the country. I'm out of on the other side of the world, whatever the fuck it was. I think to be successful as a couple, you need to need somebody.
You need your other half,
right? And for some reason we as Black folks have lost that concept of need. It's almost like if you say I need a man, or if I say I need a woman, people look at you like something's wrong with you, right? And here's the crazy part, and I was guilty of this myself. I got a friend that's been married 3 times. I'm like, that's fucking crazy, bro. But then I have friends that have babies by 3 different dudes, and I don't be like, man, that's crazy, bro, or crazy, sis, right? So we look at the wrong shit.
Everyone looks at women as having multiple baby daddies,
and it's your story.
Life
I
happens.
know your story.
Exactly.
Life happens.
But that's the thing.
Shit's not
your
normal.
Story is what got us in this predicament. Like, that's your story. That's your truth. That's your reality. No, the reality is once you have a baby daddy, you can have one kid, your dating value in the market already plummets.
And that makes women mad.
Yeah, of course it makes us mad. Because we're like, shit, it was a mistake.
But it wasn't my mistake.
Yeah, like it wasn't your mistake.
Right, as a man, it wasn't my mistake.
And men are like I heard the guy on your, I wish I would have remembered his name. He was like, find the woman that was okay with like sitting in the house, Netflix and chilling. Find her and jump her. Y'all men need to find the guy that was like, okay, I'm cool with that. It's all right, and jump him. Because
because he's fucking it up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he's the one that fucked it up. He's the one that made it. Like, find the first guy that looked at the woman with 9 kids and was like, I'll help you take care of all 9 of them.
Right.
Find that guy and jump him, because he was the one that set the precedent of these other women. That's like, if he can't accept my kids, he can't accept me.
Which is crazy.
But in the same breath, if you have 4 kids and all 4 of your kids bad as fuck, not respectable, not like they don't have integrity grounded in them,
it's a nightmare.
And y'all still saying, yeah, it's okay, I'll go ahead and I'll try to make it work. Find him and jump him, because that's what
fucking the game up.
Like, he's the one that's fucking the game up. Because like don't get me wrong, like my kids, they are yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Like, they know it's instilled in them. Be honest, don't lie. It's instilled in them. Like, do the best you can. Oh, that's the best. That's you putting your best foot forward. That's me as a parent. That's you putting your best foot forward. It still ain't good enough. Try again. That's me. And what makes it so crazy is you have more single mothers out here than single fathers, but they are on the rise. These single fathers are on the rise. But in the state of Indiana, they're not. Because Indiana is a women and children state. Like, they side with the woman just because we got it hard. Yeah. Like, they came from us. They're our children. But in the same breath, you still got these men out here that's like, you have every now and then you got the men out here that's like, I'm trying to see my child. But then you
got seriously. So my boy that I go round and round with, and I'm gonna keep it quiet because I don't want to give too much information. He fought hard to get custody of his child. He has custody of his child, not because he spent a ton of money on a lawyer. It's because his baby mama fucked up. That's and he reminded me the other day. The only reason, he said, it's not the money I put in my lawyer, not the hours and the court visits. It's because she dated the wrong cat and he got in trouble, and that's why he got his kid.
And that was the level up.
That was what made the difference. So a lot of these dudes really do want to see their kids, and they're not able to get them. And you're right, the court system is like, she's got breasts, she gets a kid. Literally. Don't matter what's going on. And it's crazy. I think, and you are right. The first dude that decided, I don't care that she got 6 baby daddies, I'm gonna step up.
Yeah, I can show her that real men exist, but then in the same breath, what makes it so crazy is that same woman with them 6 baby daddies still didn't respect her.
She didn't learn.
And that was all
you are wanted. The last like, choice.
She looking at you like, oh, well, you did it. Another man will do it. No, he won't, baby girl. He will not. Another man will use you for your parts, which is the reason why you got 6 kids, 6 baby daddies, and pregnant by your 7th baby daddy with your 7th kid. Like, these things matter. You have to learn from these kind of things. I was not raised in the hood, but one thing I can say, I seen friends that was. And that was the lifestyle that I knew for a fact I don't want my kids a part of that. This is why, like, I travel. I take my son to and from school because I don't want him in our school district. I take my daughter to and from school because I don't want her in school
That's
district.
a
My
serious
kids,
influence.
like, literally, because you don't know. I went through my son's phone. I got my oldest son a phone. He's been an honor roll student since third grade. Academically, my son is there, but without the love of a father, boys tend to look for friendship like that.
Black boys, particularly, we're gonna have male guide. It can be our dad, it can be older guys in the neighborhood, it could be the worst motherfuckers on earth.
Like, don't get me wrong, and I love my brother to death, but I don't want him as the role model.
He's not the one.
Yeah, like, he's not.
You don't
the
gotta
one.
go into detail. He's just not the one.
He's not. And I look and I'm like, okay, who do I want? And then when I look at the male support system that I have, I'm like, none of y'all.
We need that. Like, we're gonna have it no matter what. As a black man,
he needs it. He's at that age now. Like, his dad reached out to him. Like, my boy's dad hasn't reached out to them, or my boy's dad has not seen them since my mom died 8 years ago. And he reached out to me like last year and was like, "Tell my son I said happy birthday." And I text back and I was like, "This will be the last message you ever hear from me." No, I will not tell him that. Because at this point in time, he needs more than just your word.
More than a happy birthday for sure.
Yeah, he needs way more than just your word.
Right. He needs you to be in his life.
Physically there, and you're not willing to be there. I've given him the opportunity. Like, you pay for them to get there, I pay for them to come back home. That's fine. I'm willing to do that. He brings up, well, you can pay for them to get here. No, because I know for a fact I'm going to be stuck with the ticket on them getting back home too.
Right.
I would rather save my pocket so I can buy them more things. But
the necessities.
That way. But in the same breath, like, it's the necessities and the accessories as well. But that's the bad part. No matter how many accessories I buy my boys, it's not going to be enough.
It's not a daddy.
And without a mother's love, boys tend to lack self-esteem. Without a father's love, boys tend to look outside where they lack structure. And
that's why we have young men in gangs. That's why we have young men in the streets.
Literally. And that's one thing I'm trying to detour my son from. Like I said, I got my son a phone, and I went through his phone. I go through his phone, like, weekly. Just to see
mom
what he got going. Yeah, just see what he got going on. He got a little girlfriend or whatever. And I seen this phone. He was cussing. I was like, dang. I know I could.
But it ain't you though, right?
And so I'm looking at him.
It's some dude he cool with.
So I looked at him. I was like, son, you be cussing? And he looked at me. And I was like, do you use bad words? And he went to try to say no. And I was like, don't lie. And he stopped. And he was like, yeah, mom, I do. And I was like, well, why? And he was like, well, I don't know. And I was like, well, if you don't know why, then stop. So I went through his phone like a couple days ago. And I seen him telling his friend, bro, stop cussing. That's what I'm talking about. And be the example.
That's
be
where
the
it came from, though, right? Because we need, and I can't speak to nobody else. I can't speak for nobody else but black men. We're gonna have guidance, good or bad, right? And you say you didn't grow up in the hood, and that's cool. I did, but I remember I grew up around everybody who had money around me was a drug dealer, right? And my mom was super strict. She's like, listen, I'd rather visit you in jail than prison. If I find out you're selling drugs, I'm telling on you. Right? Like, she kept it real. I love my kids. And no matter how much I'm struggling, I want drug money. That's what it is. I made dumb decisions anyway. But I went to my older brother, and because all his friends was hustlers. I said, man, listen, they had the nice cars and the nice clothes. And as a matter of fact, me and Carrie went to the prom in one of my brother's cars both years. Right? He had the best car in fucking South Bend at the time. Right? He hustled at the time. But I went to my brother. I said, man, listen, I'm gonna do some dumb shit, but I want to do it so my son never has to. 'Cause, I knocked her up when I was 17, right? We were still in school when she found out she was pregnant. So and at the time it wasn't. I'm old, right? It was no fucking internet, right? We didn't have that shit. So
Yep.
I thought the only way out of the hood was to hustle. And I told my brother, I said, man, I'm gonna do this not because I want fancy cars or fancy clothes or anything. I said, I want to do this so my kids don't have to grow up in the same environment we grew up in. And my brother was on me. He's like, man, you don't make a don't do stupid shit, don't do dumb shit. Mama, you know how mama is. But he's like, if you're gonna do it, be smart as you can be. And that was my way out. In hindsight, I could have did different shit, right? But that's what was available. That's all I thought was available to me at the time. But so I had those negative influences, but I had a good enough positive influence between my mom and my dad where I knew I won't get myself in no shit. Unfortunately, my parents both passed away when I was younger, but that's life. Anyway, listen, I've had a wonderful conversation with you. We got to do this shit again. I just wanted to have you over, and I wanted to get a Black woman's perspective on what was going on in today's world, and you have done an amazing fucking job. I want to thank you. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We should do this shit at least once a month.
At the very.
All right. Hey, y'all, I appreciate y'all watching this shit. Thank you very much. This is Amazing Robin. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night.
Feelings not included, ayy. Let's get into it, ayy. Life, love, and real debate. We setting records straight. What y'all wanna hear today? We coming out the gate. You know how we do it. Feelings not included. Shorty did your taxes, now your bank account is ruined. Baby daddy cheated, now you out here looking stupid. Come and talk about it, but if you come out and do it, just know that feelings not included.